Welcome to my August energy update live stream. We can think of this as the Lionsgate portal episode of this energy update because that's exactly what we're going to talk about. How to manifest, how the crystal of the month is going to support this, how the animal totem is completely going to support this. And I also have a very special guest that I will bring on in a few moments here. So let me say hello here to my friends in the chat here. Howdy, Irma. Hello, Shannon. Are you guys ready to talk all things Lionsgate today? It's an exciting time because today, as this is being recorded, the Lionsgate portal has already opened. Yes, so January 26th up until August 12th. Now, when we talk about the peak of Lionsgate energy, we are, of course, talking about 8/8. So this is when the energy is most potent, okay? And I want you to just focus around this date range because there's a lot going on. On 8/9, we have the full moon. It is known as the sturgeon full moon, and it gets its name because this is when the sturgeon fish are most abundant. So abundance is really a theme in August, and everything is going to support you to bring this forward into your life, but really get specific on what kind of abundance you are manifesting here today. Okay, so very cool. And then what do we have? 8/10. That is when we are done with Mercury in retrograde, right? That's when Mercury is going to go direct. So during this time, a lot of several, celestial events going on here. And so the heart of this energy update is going to prepare you for how to manifest and how to work with all the energy that we have available to us. Before I get into the heart of what the Lionsgate is, I want to bring on my very special guest to say hello to you guys. Would you like to join us? Sarah? How are we going to do this?
I would like to, but there's nowhere to sit.
There's nowhere to sit. We're on location, as you guys can see here. So,
hello.
So I wanted to bring a very special double Leo on today. This is part of the live magic here. I wanted to bring on a double Leo who just
because I'm an expert at lions.
Yeah, and she just celebrated her birthday yesterday. And so what's really cool is that Sarah was born on what the Mayan calendar calls the day without time. So I really wanted to ask you, how does that feel like? Because you're born on that day, then the next day the Lionsgate begins.
Look, if a person knows that I am born the day out of time, everything else about me will make sense. And that's so funny because my latest episode of my series Mystery Teachings just came out, and it was just synced up with the timeline split episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so funny because I talk about many different topics, obviously, as a esoteric spiritual teacher, but they all have this core theme, if you think about it, where it's like there's no time. it's like the awakened, transmuted, alchemical version of Bill Nye. And it's like, now it all makes sense because I literally was born the day out of time. I was here to talk about all the things I talk about. And it was like, how are you going to set that design up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going to have to make it not in time.
Yeah. It's
did
almost...
I answer your question?
Well, you did, because I was going to say, it's almost like you planned this, Sarah.
Yeah. I planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Sorry. I don't know.
No, please.
Topic. Yeah.
No,
it's there's this really hard thing to understand in the spiritual community right now. And it's not hard at all.
Yeah.
And that's that there is a predetermined template mixed with free will. Oh my God. And I don't know, refusal to understand that is, to me, the most arrogant form of denial. So yeah, it's like a mixture. It's a collaboration between the higher self and the lower self. So yeah, anyways, I guess that would be easier if you were born out of time.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, you guys.
Yes, we can't all be born on the day out of time, but
Thank you guys. I'm looking at your happy birthday.
I know so many of you today. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us today. And so, well, it's cool because we're in Leo season. We talked about the day out of time, and up until, I would say, July, I talked about the Sirius gateway. So basically, where things feel like lucid, where they feel unreal, I think that's always the opportunity to get a hold of your life, use your free will, and align with what you want to see and what you want to create in this reality.
Yeah. And like, that's a part of the experiment and experience here. So it wasn't hyper neurotically written beforehand. There's a level of mystery. There is a level of collaboration within the parameters of our template or our design or our timeline or whatever you'd like to call it. But yeah, so that's really fun. And you might already teach this inside this episode. So I won't get too much. Okay, yeah,
we'll see.
But many of the way that the energies move inside a year are done where some you should not manifest. Why? Because we are not in control of everything. We don't always need to be like hyper controlling of what's brought forward. So some events literally are so powerful that we are not, we can if we want, but like I'm just teaching essentially the alchemical mixture here of consciousness and reality, which is what alchemy is. It's the relationship between consciousness and reality. So some events actually aren't up to us. And yeah, we could manifest if we want to and intend and do whatever we want for that, but that's just not the way that the energies are supposed to be moving. Sorry, I don't know if I'm like blocking things.
No.
And then some astrological events or some things, absolutely. And so, some of the events are perfect. One could say they're even ripe for our ability to creatively dictate and creatively affirm with our spiritual sovereignty our manifestations in that time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, because we are going to talk about it now being the time for manifestation. And I love what you said, because, there's full moons we don't manifest on. There's so many times we don't. And so that was such a beautiful explanation of that. And that also is just flow and being able to take our life literally one day at a time, but also assert our will, let the journey happen, but then also be able to receive the lessons and the growth and the evolution that we're all exploring here. So I want to thank you for joining us and for that transmission that we got.
You're so welcome. I'm taking that as a verbal cue to leave. I will leave you to it. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for the happy birthday comments. Time.
There you go. So, I know we could have kept Sarah on here much longer, but I wore a Sagittarius ring today for a reason. Sometimes I need a buffer. Okay. I love all you Leos, but now, I want to say that I see you guys and I work beautifully with you. And thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah. So I'm going to take the wheel now, moving forward here for the rest of this energy update. But thank you guys so much. Seeing so many friends in the comments today, so appreciate it. So I really like what you said, Sarah, because what we're going to be talking about is the Lionsgate is the time to manifest. And the reason it is because the energy is so expansive and abundant. So now I do have a video, my very first video on YouTube when I was just a little baby creator here. It's called the Lionsgate Portal and how to receive light codes and manifest, because that's really what this time of year is about. And so you can watch this video. I put it in the description here, so you have all the information that you need. But essentially, what we are looking at the time of the Lionsgate Portal is the fact that our sun, our spiritual sun Sirius, and the earth are aligned with Orion's belt. Now, because of this creates the cosmic alignment or portal or opening, however you want to phrase it, that brings this higher dimensional energy to the planet. You guys know my July energy update was all about Sirius energy. Today, it's activated. If you guys had any trippy dreams last night, the week leading up, it really is due to this energy. And what's really important too about the Lionsgate Portal is that this is when those psychic gifts really start to come online for people. So if you've never really explored it, this would actually be the time to experiment, try a healing modality, go outside, meditate. So when I talk about receiving light codes, this is already happening, but 8/8, the day of the Lionsgate portal, that's when you want to make this happen. That's when you want to be outside. So in terms of manifesting for the Lionsgate, so the energy of Sirius that enters the planet, this is expansive, heart-centered, very high frequency energy that represents just really how abundant the entire universe is. Now, I mentioned the full moon on 8/9. That's already a very abundant time. You just receive it. There's nothing extra you need to do. And then with Mercury going direct on the 10th, what I'm talking about this time is that this is really us now leaving where we are, going into more of flow. So on the day that Mercury goes direct, only thing you need to do, I'd say, just be in this creative space. That's how you want to just like enjoy the rest of this retrograde, right? Flow, no attachment to any outcomes, but then being in that receptive state. Well, that's the key to manifesting. You want to be receptive, right? We don't want to have this like crazy attachment or think that we can control exactly how we're going to receive something. We just want to be very open, intentional, and the key to receptivity, just knowing that you're worthy and deserving of those things that you are asking the universe for. So you know that you can receive it. You know that we're in this window of open manifestation. The big key thing here during the Lionsgate portal is that this is a time for deep spiritual awakening. I would say now, and then when we talk about 11/11 and 11/22, this is to bring higher awareness and consciousness to the planet. But this is like the time of the year where you want to manifest and you want to be very intentional. So what kind of abundance do you want? Do you want an abundance of health, an abundance of finances? Really get specific here. That's what you want to do when you're manifesting for the Lionsgate. And so in the video, I've got all kinds of activities. Okay, so basically, you can, the day of the Lionsgate, write a list of all the things that you want to manifest. You go outside, you burn it, let it just blow away. You could say all your manifestations out loud because it's very important. Voice, right? The vibration gets carried through the universe that way. I would say start your little list now. Whatever it is you're working on, if you're creating a list of just the things that you want to embody in life, start with it now. Let it kind of soak up all this potent high frequency energy. Release it on the Lionsgate portal. So let me check the chat here because I know I went quite a bit into this too. And thank you guys too for all your beautiful comments here. So let's see what's going on here. And so, you know, the other thing with this Mercury in retrograde that we're working through right now, just think of it like this. Just say things are happening for me. They are already working out. I am in flow. Be in that state of mind now. Honestly, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be solid. Okay. So let's see what we got going on here too. Okay. So I mentioned the manifesting, and, you know, vocalizing what you want is very important, but August is also going to be about vocalizing boundaries. Okay. So we think of a lion and how they roar, right? And like how when they're just doing their thing and something, you know, encroaches, that's when they set that boundary and they set it vocally to assert their dominance. That's how you want to be with boundaries too in August, really having a strong throat center. That's another core theme. And it's funny that I'm talking about the lion because guess what? That's our animal totem. Yes. Is it on the nose? Not really, because this is when this energy is what you want to really embody when you're manifesting and moving forward and being bold and creative. So we've got our lion, and we're going to talk about our crystal of the month. Do I have any guesses here too? Do I have any guesses here? Well, let me get my crystal. It kind of got pushed to the side here in the fray. Hold on. Okay. Are you guys ready? Say hello to aventurine, our crystal of the month. Why is it the crystal of the month? Aventurine is the stone of prosperity. It's the stone of good luck. And this is what's going to help infuse all of your manifestations during the Lionsgate portal. And what's really beautiful about it is you just need it near you and it works its magic. This is a stone. If you wear it, just being in your field will give you what you need. And so, you know, with green crystals, I want to give you guys a minute to really bond with this too. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Okay, so the thing with green crystals is, yes, inherently, there is this energy of abundance and then connection to the planet. If I could describe the overall energy of aventurine, it's like the season of spring. After a long winter, something is coming to renew you. This is going to renew the energy field. But what's really important is if we talk about all the crystals out there that support us in energetic protection, aventurine is what is used to directly protect a person from energetic siphoning from the heart center, specifically from energetic vampires, okay? That was very specific, right? Yeah, because that's exactly what this is for. This piece happens to look like a vampire stake. I don't know if you guys, for all the Buffy fans out there, that's exactly what's going on with this thing here. So it has been used historically to cut off energy being siphoned from the heart center. This not only does that and supports your heart center, but this actually helps the muscle in the heart, the whole circulatory system. So this is going to give you a lot of physical support, but it also represents growth. So honestly, it's recommended like to give to kids because it says ages 0 to 7. This promotes like healthy growth in a child. And that's really interesting because when I do healing sessions, inner child usually shows up in session around age 7 or so. So 1 to 7, those strong years where the root center is learning stability. This is a crystal that will support anyone's energy field, but I would also bring this into your inner child healing too. It's going to support you there too. So I'm glad you guys are vibing with this crystal here. And so a few more things of it. So yes, it's about manifesting and prosperity too, but this really will instill life force in you when you feel drained. So when you need a boost in your energy field, this is what you want around you. And when you're manifesting and you're calling in abundance, it's good to feel that, right? You don't, necessarily need to be like, wow, I'm really tired today, I can't manifest. No, that's not what I'm saying. But this is going to add so much essence into your energy field. And that's why aventurine is just perfect here for August, because it's so nourishing and its frequency is all about renewal as well. And not only is this specific now for financial flow, that's what people use. So when they're doing a grid to call more money into, their life, you're going to want to use aventurine, going to want to use malachite as well, emerald. This actually pairs pretty well with moldavite. So I would definitely recommend that. I laugh because we haven't talked about moldavite yet. It's going to be a time. But also, if you really want to go for that big sudden change, maybe you need that kind of destruction to call forth those manifestations. Maybe bring moldavite in for that purpose too. But let's keep this with calling in the financial flow, the stability. This is also the crystal you want when you want some humor in your life. Like when you're really going through the ups and downs in life and you just need a boost, like that's what this is for. I think it's like having a little Sagittarian in your pocket, just your little good luck charm who's hilarious. So, just think about that. But this is actually associated with Aries too. So there you go. So a few more things here too. Like I said, just have this in the field. If you wear it with a piece over your heart center, that is direct heart center protection. So it's going to really support you with that too. But then calling in things. So flow. So about like financial flow, when I say this is to help clear those blocks that result from just scarcity consciousness. So really, this is going to help you just be open, just be in receptivity. And that's exactly the energy you want to be in, not only for manifesting on the Lionsgate, but also just for receiving, what we refer to as light codes. And so what happens in the Lionsgate is, Sirius, our spiritual sun, is just raining these heart-centered consciousness light codes into the planet. And the only thing you need to do is really intend to receive them. So you're in that state of flow and receptivity. You're getting those light codes. I always recommend the day of the Lionsgate. I may have mentioned this before. It's definitely in the video to go outside and, receive those light codes that way. But do this in general, in the summer, not just on these big energetic dates. It's so important to have the sun supercharge us. And, the sun's a huge symbol too, in August here too. So a few more things that I want to discuss. So the numerology is very much key on the Lionsgate. You see the symbols, 888. And, 8 on its side is infinity. So we're talking about the number, the vibration that's going to support the infinite wholeness. The Lionsgate is about remembering we are infinite. And it's not just about the cosmic alignment. It's about the alignment within ourselves. It always is about that, right? With our own inner truth, with our expression, and really embodying that too. So what's important is to ground yourself often during this time. Do your Lionsgate intentions, ground into the planet every day. Actually do it morning and night. That's what you want to do. And the reason we do it is, say you do a big, meditation on the Lionsgate, or you're just receiving all these realizations. You need to ground that into the planet. So, the rest of the world's going to be tapping into that energy too. But because it's embodied, you're in your body, you're imprinting all these energetic upgrades into your DNA. Reason a million why grounding is so important. If you need more help with grounding, I do have a video on that in this channel, but I'm also remaking it. So you guys have that to look forward to too. So let's see what we got here. You're getting a truck of aventurine? Yeah, absolutely, Irma. I definitely recommend it here too. So, I mentioned when we pair it with moldavite, we're getting the drastic change and transformation. Just pairing it with gold, that would be nice. Pair it with quartz. A lot of it comes already in quartz. So that's just going to amplify those already positive qualities. It's going to protect the heart center. It's going to make sure you've got enough chi flowing through the heart center, of course. And then that's what you use. And so because we're talking about manifestation and the Lionsgate for this episode, well, what we also want to talk about is what else can represent that? Well, pyrite. Bring in the fool's gold, right? So bring in that energy to also, if you're adding it to a grid, great. You can keep some tumbled pieces in your pocket, or if you wear jewelry. Crystals during the Lionsgate, I don't know. It's like extra special to me because I like to leave them outside, especially the day of. Let them be cleansed in the sun. Let them get supercharged. Aventurine is a crystal you don't necessarily want to leave in the sun because, it could fade. Just a little bit of that energy will be really good for that too. So a few more things that I wanted to mention here too. What's really cool about aventurine is that it does represent a balance and harmony of both our masculine and feminine energies within the heart center too. So balancing, replenishing, charging, refreshing, abundance, financial flow, prosperity. That is aventurine. It's pretty cool here. Do you guys have any questions here? Almost lost the whole laptop here. So, but that's okay because we've got aventurine. So I'm out here in the desert. As you can see, it looks like I'm in a rock cave. And, not my necessary setup, but it's pretty cool out here. So a few more things here. I already mentioned, the lion being the animal totem for August. Makes perfect sense here. We had our double Leo just on here too. But the reason the lion is here is because you really want to embody lion energy, not just during the Lionsgate, but just in life. They represent strength. They represent leadership here too. Vocal boundaries, stepping up in life. When a lion hunts, they're very, very stealth. And so one of the messages that we can learn from the lion is to go into stealth mode, right? For our highest success. Go into stealth mode. I mentioned this before. Focus quietly on what you're building, creating, then get out there, launch, and, show everyone who you are. And so the other, beautiful qualities we know of the lion, we know their loyalty, we know they're brave, but you know what? What's really cool about lions is they don't just start fights, they're not looking for trouble. They like to avoid it. When the fight gets started, the male lion comes in to protect the pride. That's when they come in and roar. So basically, if we think about the lion, they don't start shit, but they tell you how it ends. Yes, that's big energy. That's big Leo energy. That's big lion energy. And, it says something to have and hold that strength, but, not be petty, not pay attention to any noise that's around us. Focus on the big things. When the boundary gets encroached upon, that's when we roar. There's a lot to learn from lion energy here too. So a few more things that I want to mention about the lion. They do represent community. So if you see this symbol anywhere, what that's going to represent to you is, okay, what am I contributing in my community, in my family? Do I show up as a leader? Do I let other people do the work in, say it's like a work scenario, right? And then do I try and take credit for it? Like, what is my exact role? And this symbolism is drawn from the fact that, the male lions just come in and they protect, but it's usually the female lion that's out there hunting, doing all the work in that kind of sense, okay? But then, of course, they have the protective energy. They've got the voice as well. So with this said, kind of see what your role is in your community, in your family, and just your relationships and life. And, who do you want to be? Lionsgate season would be the time to transmute, to shift, to embody more of the leadership. Maybe you want more of a voice in your life. This is the time to do it. That's why it's so important to think of the number 8, the wholeness, the strength, being infinite, the Lionsgate portal, when we have access to so much higher dimensional energy, and then the strength of the lion. It's all coming together very beautifully in August. So pay attention to these themes. And of course, it represents the heart as well, and the sun and the warmth from the sun. In medieval alchemy, represents sulfur. So lion energy is very, very powerful. It has a role in so much transmutation, but also into evolving into the highest version of ourselves and really embodying universal consciousness, heart-centered consciousness, however you want to refer to that. This is about looking at the bigger picture. This is really looking at the infinite. And that's what the lion is also a symbol for too, right? Along with the number 8. So good stuff here. I'm looking here. I'm seeing some really cool stuff in the chat here. Thank you, Frank, for liking my hat. Fits the vibe, right? Fits the vibe here too. So a few more things, I mentioned how the lion avoids confrontation. I mentioned its strength here too. But also when you see the lion, really take that as a reminder of the inner strength that, you really do have and that you're ready to vocalize is what I'm getting here too. Take it as, I know my strength. I know what I want. I know how much space I want to take up, infinite space, right? So see the lion symbol. So if you see it, driving, you see it on TV, just really kind of take almost inventory of where you are in space and time, what you want to embody. Who do you want to show up as? Are you setting the boundaries that you want? Are you taking enough space? And what boundaries will allow you to take up that space here too? Sorry, I thought I heard a knock. I thought Sarah was trapped outside. I guess not. Yeah, strength card. There you go, Urba. A lot of big symbolism here too. And so there are some concepts too, and I believe Ted Andrews talks about the lion kind of representing. So when we talk about the sun, actually, it's not just the masculine energy associated with it. He argues that the feminine energy with warmth and nurturing and the rising of creation energy and creating a new sun and looking forward to things on a horizon actually can represent the sun being a feminine symbol and a masculine symbol in the way that the lion is actually a symbol for both. So it's really cool. Sometimes we may associate one maybe animal totem with a more predominant energy, but what it's saying is no, it's the power of the feminine and the masculine energies harmonizing, working together. That's what the lion embodies. So where we see, the lion, the mother lion taking care of its cubs and doing a lot of the hunting, there's such an important protection energy we're also seeing. The lion represents nurturing as well. Both female and male lions are very loving and nurturing with their cubs. And so it kind of, can evoke in us, where do we need to nurture ourselves more? Where do we need to nurture inner child more? A lot of massive themes here. But what's really cool about the lion is I know it has specific symbolism to anyone out there, right? We kind of grow up thinking of, the things that we hear, King of the Jungle, and we all grew up on the Lion King. So there's a lot of symbolism, and I want it to mean something really specific to you in your journey. So whether the features or the attributes I give you with the animal totem resonate or not, whether there's a deeper symbol for you, that's what you want to embody. Sometimes people have a really hard time vocalizing boundaries. And I say, okay, visualize in your mind's eye a lion there in the throat center, setting those boundaries for you. You could use the animal totems to draw power for and from in really any situation there too. So good stuff here. I want to see some of the comments here. Lions, Lyrans, yeah, definitely. And with the energy that we've been talking about, in Sirius and with the Lionsgate portal, so much of the significance has to do with the ancient Egyptian relationship to Sirius and it being this kingdom of the gods. And then if we think about all the lions that are present there in so much of the sacred sites there, a lot of good stuff there. And also cats. Cats are the best. So let me see. Does anyone have any questions for me at all? So we've got an exciting month ahead. Really, I'm not going to take up too much time today. I just wanted to kind of go over the fact that this is a really open, exciting, creative adventurous time for us, right? We've got Lionsgate energy. We're already working with it. We have that connection to Sirius since July. And also, you know, we've got this key dates. We have a very abundant week coming up these next couple of weeks. So do you guys have any questions for me at all about anything about the crystal of the month? You know, anything else? We truly do have a lot of opportunity ahead of us energetically. That's why aventurine is the crystal of the month. It's just going to enhance all that creative energy that we've really building up since these last few energy updates too. So let's see what we got here. Jenny, your cats have been divas. Yeah, everyone's embodying Leo season here. Let's see here. Irma, Dan, I will send you this nail polish. Don't even worry about it. I got you guys. All right, you guys. Well, you know what? Thank you for joining me here in this rock cavern here out in the desert here. It's been a pleasure jumping in, talking about the Lionsgate. Now, remember, if you need more information on all those details about what the Lionsgate is, how to receive those downloads, light codes, the video link is in the description. And if you want to know where I get my crystals from, I will leave a comment here on this chat, and then you guys will know. So I'm wishing you a very abundant, prosperous, beautiful August and Lionsgate, and I'll see you back here very soon for the September energy update. Have a beautiful night, you guys.